Hi, my name is Jesse Koza, and I am the Cultural Arts Administrator for the City of Wichita. Thank you for watching this information session about our grants platform, Submittable. For those of you unaware, the city started using Submittable for the grants portion of the Cultural Funding Program last year. We've run 3 programs through it so far, and we've been very pleased with the result. Thankfully, like many online platforms today, Submittable is pretty intuitive. First things first, you're going to want to direct your browser to wichita.submittable.com, right up here. And when you put that in, it will automatically take you to this page that is /submit. You don't need to do that. You're welcome to if you'd like, but that's where you'll find our grant opportunities. I believe it works in every browser, but if you're having a little difficulty, don't hesitate to reach out. I'll make sure to include my contact information at the end of this session. Here on the home page for the division's grant opportunities, you'll see a couple of options. First, that home button on the upper left and the division logo should both take you back to our city webpage. That's not helpful to us today, so we're not going to do it. But if you're ever coming back to Submittable, perhaps you need to stop your application and pick up where you left off. You'll click on the spot in the upper right corner that reads View Your Submissions. That will take you to this login page, but we'll get back to that in a moment. The majority of the home page at wichita.submittable.com is information about our operational grants. If we ever have another opportunity, another grant program, you'll see the guidelines and other necessary information here. If you want to learn more about the 2025 operational grants, I recommend you watch our video on YouTube, which should be uploaded soon. You can search in YouTube for City of Wichita or go to youtube.com/City of Wichita 455. That's the numbers 455 at the end. When you're ready to start your application for the fiscal year 2025 operational funding grant opportunity, you'll need to scroll all the way to the bottom of the home page at wichita.submittable.com. So there's a lot of guidelines you'll scroll past. Please read these if you have the time. Be very helpful. There at the bottom of the page, you'll see FY25 operational grants, along with the link for the guidelines and an orange button that says submit. And I know that last part is a little bit confusing, but submit is actually the first button that you'll hit. The guidelines are the same as the information above, the stuff we've just scrolled past, but you're welcome to open it up and double check, scroll through if you'd like. So if we hit submit, we're taken back to that same login screen that we saw earlier. Basically, you can't apply for this opportunity without making a Submittable account. And just like most accounts, it's simple to do. You'll just click sign up. You'll input your information, email, password, first name, last name, and you'll hit sign up. You don't you don't need to check your email for a confirmation or anything like that. It does everything right away, and it takes you directly into the application. For now, I'm going to log in with our generic email, and you're taken to the same place that you would be if you're signed up, if you're signing up brand new. If you see your name in the upper right corner, you know that it worked. You can see the due date for the grants right here at the top in red, August 5th at 11:59 p.m. Again, you're going to need to scroll past the guidelines. We're just doing everything we can to make sure that you see them, you have an opportunity to read them before working on the grant. When you scroll to the bottom, you'll find the beginning of the grant. You'll input your organization's name, and then you'll select whether or not you've read and understood the guidelines. I'm not going to go through every step of the application, but this, I always worry this could be a little confusing, so I want to make sure to do it. If you say no, you haven't done so, it'll encourage you to hit submit, and that will notify me, and I'll reach out to make sure that we're on the same page. Otherwise, you can hit yes to start the application. Briefly, some things in the application itself. You'll see a few options to please click here if you have questions to get more information about certain sections. that will open up a separate document. It's our supplemental information document in a new tab. That has information to help you fill out the application as you go. But again, if you have questions, you are always welcome to reach out. We can't necessarily tell you whether your answers are good, but we can clarify things and tell your application is complete. So if you have a question, what is collaboration? What does a partnership look like? We can help you with that, but we can't tell you whether your answer about collaborations is good. If you're unsure whether you can ask a question, I'd recommend just asking it, and I'll let you know whether or not I can answer. The application itself is straightforward. A lot of identifying information at the start, and then we get to these fillable Excel sheets. You may have a hiccup here with the fillable Excel sheets, depending on your monitor, if you're trying to do this on your phone, things like that. My worry is that applicants may not see all of the columns at once. So we've got a scroll bar here on the right. If you see a scroll bar at the bottom, I would recommend just using it to double check to make sure that you're seeing all of the columns. I've tried to make it sure that that won't happen, but I can't, like I said, I can't anticipate every scenario. So I would just check for those scroll bars. It's the same thing with this Board of Trustees directors list. If you don't want to fill these in and you just have documents, you can upload them here, and I'll get back to that upload option in a moment. Continuing on into the proposal narrative, there are some links in here. That's if you want to check out the cultural plan to learn more about what we're talking about through this, how we're connecting it to this grant opportunity. But otherwise, again, very straightforward. We do have limits on the length of answers. Then we get to additional information. Again, we're seeing those Excel sheets. Here we do have a scroll bar. Just make sure you can see all of the columns. I don't want you to accidentally submit an application that is missing information because you didn't scroll to the right. One thing I do want to point out, Submittable does not love, like when we get to fundraising data, Submittable does not love dollar signs, or at least in the past it hasn't liked dollar signs. Occasionally I've found that it doesn't like commas. So when you get to the fundraising data, for instance, I'd recommend not including a dollar sign, if only to make sure everything saves and gets reported properly. I have been seeing recently some hopeful signs that it doesn't get as mad at those things like it used to in the past, but I would still recommend erring on the side of caution. Again, the form's pretty straightforward. Depending on your answers, certain upload boxes will show up. And these upload boxes work basically exactly how you would expect them to. You'll click here and you'll navigate to the file that you want to select. These specific two will allow you to upload multiple files at once if you want to do it that way. If you have multiple statements of activity or statements of financial position, you're also welcome to upload them simply as one file. So that's really up to you. But it's all very simple, very intuitive. That's one reason we like it so much. And then some check boxes to end the application. And then you'll hit this black submit button to submit. Obviously, there's a save draft as well, very helpful. The application shouldn't take too long to do, but I get tired writing a bunch of answers, so I might need to take a break, come back. So save draft is a big help in that way. It isn't the end of the world if you hit submit before you're ready. Most of these questions are required, and it'll tell you if something's not filled out. If all the questions are filled out and you hit submit earlier than you want to, I'll show you here in a minute how we can get back into the report to edit it after accidentally hitting submit. I don't have a filled out, this form won't submit properly, but after you hit submit, it will confirm. It should send you an email saying that you have received, that it has successfully received it. And if you go up there to the upper right, I did that kind of quick. You go up to your name, click on it, you'll get an option, My Submissions. If you click on My Submissions, you will see this screen. And then if you have multiple applications for things, you'll see them all listed here. And you can just click on the one that you're interested in. That word test, that will be your organization's name. It won't be test. But you get an expanded list of options here at the top. Forms in the middle. And then FY25 operational grants here will allow you to see the application that you submitted if you want to double check everything that you've written. Earlier, if we hit submit and we didn't mean to, we can hit this blue edit button on the right. You just click edit, and then you'll write a little note to me that just says, hey, Jesse, hit submit too early. Can you open it back up? Something like that. And you'll hit submit request. And then I will receive that email. I'll open it up and I'll send you an email back that says it's ready to go. Hop back in there, and then you will be allowed to get back into the application. You can send us messages directly from within this page. It's a new message. It goes to the Division of Arts and Cultural Services. That's not required. If you want to keep everything in one place using some of these submittable tools, you are welcome to, but just sending me a regular old email is fine as well. We're not currently using some of the other features of Submittable, like awards and payments. We don't do transactions through Submittable, so we're not going to use this tab very often. But if you leave and you need to get back into your account, you can always just go back to Wichita, caps lock, wichita.submittable.com. and click on view your submissions. If you're still logged in like I am, you'll see your name up here. If we want to see what that looks like without being logged in, again, it's just view your submissions up here on the upper right. It's very simple, very easy to use. You'll sign in and you'll see your application. If you're someone who submits grants on behalf of multiple organizations, once you got one application finished, perhaps even in draft form, I haven't truly tested that out, you can start a second application for a different organization. So that's why, even though I have a submitted application here, when I go to wichita.submittable.com, I see the opportunity to submit, and I can hit submit and I can have a brand new form here ready to go. And see, it's already saved my answer to understanding the grant guidelines. If you have problems with Submittable itself, I'm always welcome to listen and try to help, but you will probably get better technical assistance if you reach out to Submittable itself. We tried to make sure that this contact info is available on every page that you'll encounter having to do with art grants. So obviously, please feel free to reach out to them as needed. But again, if you have a question, I'm happy to play the middleman and reach out on your behalf. That's about all I have. If you check back into Submittable a lot, you might notice that the status of your application will change. So this says received here. It might say in review, something like that under status. But once you have submitted your application, you are basically finished with Submittable. It's truly all back-end stuff for us that you might be seeing reflected under that status. All qualifying applications will be reviewed by the Cultural Funding Committee between August 6th and September 18th, with the Q&A session happening on September 19th. Once you hit submit, like I said, on your application and you're happy with it, you're basically done with Submittable until it's time to apply for another opportunity. Once you have submitted, or even if you haven't submitted, if you're already on an email list that I frequently email, I'll be in contact with you throughout the process. You should get a confirmation email that your application was successful. If you don't receive it, or if you want to just double check that I have received your application, feel free to reach out to me, to email me. I will also try to keep in touch to make sure that everyone who wants to apply has plenty of reminders to do so. As we move through the next 7+ weeks, please feel free to reach out to me with any questions. Again, my name is Jesse Koza. I am the Cultural Arts Administrator. My email is jkoza@wichita.gov. My phone number is 316-350-3241. Please, if you have any questions about Submittable, about the grants process, or about anything the city does to support our cultural arts community, please reach out and let me know.